Welcome, beautiful damsels. When a Sigma female cuts you off, it's not because she's cruel, it's because you left her no other choice. Here's the harsh truth. When a Sigma female walks away, she does it with the kind of precision and finality that leaves you questioning everything. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, but it's always deeply felt. In fact, studies show that over 70% of highly independent women prefer solitude over maintaining unfulfilling relationships. Sigmas lead that pack. But what makes these women so swift in their decisions? Is it their heightened sense of self-preservation, their uncanny ability to detect nonsense from a mile away, or perhaps they've just mastered the art of protecting their peace? Well, spoiler alert, it's all of the above. In this video, we're diving into the cold, hard truths behind why Sigma females cut people off without a second thought. And trust me, if you've ever been on the receiving end of that silent treatment, you might want to stick around. Who knows? You might even find out exactly why you got ghosted and why she's probably not losing any sleep over it. Number 1. Their purpose comes first, not you. Sigma females live with an unshakable sense of purpose. They know exactly where they're headed and what they need to do to get there. The moment someone, even a close friend or partner, starts pulling them away from that path, they won't hesitate to cut ties. They don't do it out of malice, it's purely survival. Sigma females don't waste time on distractions or detours. You either fit into their mission or you're left behind. It's as simple as that. People often get confused by this, thinking Sigmas are cold or heartless. In reality, they just don't have time for people who can't align with their vision. It's not personal, well, maybe a little, but mostly it's about self-preservation. If you're slowing down their progress or cluttering their mental space, they'll walk away before you even realize what happened. It's like watching someone quietly slip out of a crowded room. There's no grand exit. But once you notice they're gone, it's too late. They don't give second chances either. Once you've been identified as a distraction, you're done. You might even ask yourself, did I really deserve to be cut off just because I wanted a little more attention? The answer is yes. Sigma females operate in an entirely different league. They can't afford to waste energy on someone who isn't as focused or driven as they are. If you're not on the same wavelength, you're not in their life, period. And here's the kicker. While you're left wondering what went wrong, she's already moved on to bigger and better things. Probably enjoying a cup of coffee in total peace without the extra baggage. For a Sigma female, her purpose isn't just important, it's everything. Number 2, they recognize energy parasites. Sigma females are hyper-aware of people who constantly take without giving. They have a keen ability to spot those who drain their energy rather than replenish it. If you're always leaning on them for support, guidance, or attention, but never reciprocating, they'll start to see you as an energy parasite. This isn't about keeping score or being selfish. It's about self-preservation. They know the toll it takes when someone is always siphoning their mental, emotional, or even physical energy, and they won't let that continue for long. These women have mastered the art of protecting their own energy. They understand the importance of boundaries and don't hesitate to enforce them when necessary. The moment they feel drained or used, they'll ghost you. And they won't do it with any drama or explanation, because they've learned that explaining their boundaries to someone who doesn't respect them in the first place is just another drain on their resources. To a Sigma female, energy is currency, and she's not willing to spend hers on anyone who isn't equally invested. If you aren't contributing to the relationship in a meaningful way, whether emotionally, intellectually, or even spiritually, you'll find yourself on the outside looking in. She's not one to let someone hang around just because of past connections or obligations. The moment you cross into energy-sucking territory, you're cut off. What's more, Sigma females don't feel guilty about it. They see protecting their energy as essential to maintaining their strength and focus. If that means cutting people off who are taking more than they give, so be it. It's not about being ruthless. It's about staying balanced and strong in a world full of people ready to drain you dry. Number 3, they don't owe anyone loyalty for mediocrity. Loyalty is earned, not given freely, especially when it comes to Sigma females. They don't stick around just because of history, familiarity, or societal expectations. For them, loyalty isn't some blanket obligation you automatically get once you've been in their life for a while. If you're not contributing to their growth or bringing something valuable to the table, they won't hesitate to leave you behind. Staying loyal to someone who doesn't inspire or challenge them is a waste of time, and they're not about wasting time. They recognize when people become stagnant. If you're content to sit in mediocrity, that's fine, but don't expect a Sigma female to stay there with you. They have no tolerance for people who don't push themselves to be better, and they won't feel guilty about cutting ties. It's not about being cruel or harsh, it's about survival. They thrive on ambition, growth, and continuous improvement. Loyalty for the sake of it? That's just not in their vocabulary. This often comes as a shock to people who assume their loyalty is unconditional. But for Sigma females, there's no point in sticking around in a relationship, whether it's personal, professional, or even family, if the other person isn't striving for more. It's nothing personal. It's just that they see loyalty differently. They're loyal to their own evolution first, and if you're not evolving too, you'll get left behind. And here's the kicker. They don't even feel bad about it. To them, staying loyal to mediocrity feels like betraying themselves. So if you're wondering why a Sigma female suddenly cut you off, ask yourself if you've been growing or if you've been coasting along. Because if you've been sitting still, she's already out the door. Number 4. They're allergic to neediness. Sigma females are fiercely independent, and the last thing they want is someone clinging to them. Neediness to them is suffocating. It's not that they don't care about others. They just can't handle being constantly needed or expected to cater to someone's emotional demands. They thrive on personal space and freedom, and the moment someone starts invading that, they'll pull the plug without hesitation. Being around someone who's emotionally needy feels like a burden to a Sigma female. It's draining and takes away from the energy they need to focus on their own goals and well-being. If someone is constantly looking for validation, reassurance, or attention, it becomes exhausting. Sigmas aren't built to play therapist or babysit anyone's emotions. They believe in strong, self-reliant connections where both people bring something to the table without leaning too heavily on the other. If that balance is broken, they'll walk away quietly, and you won't see them coming back. They're also allergic to drama. Neediness often comes with emotional ups and downs, and Sigmas simply don't have the patience for that. If they sense that someone's about to drag them into a whirlpool of emotional chaos, they'll cut them off before it even starts. They'd rather be alone than constantly tending to someone else's insecurities or emotional baggage. The funny thing is, when people realize a Sigma has ghosted them, they often try to get more attention, which only makes things worse. It's like adding fuel to the fire. The more needy someone gets, the quicker a Sigma female will vanish from their life. In their world, independence isn't just a preference, it's non-negotiable. If you can't match their level of emotional self-sufficiency, you'll find yourself cut off faster than you can say, "What happened?" Number 5. Your insecurity is a major red flag. Sigma females have zero patience for insecurity. It's like trying to run a marathon while dragging a boulder. It's just not happening. If you're constantly questioning their intentions, needing validation, or doubting yourself in their presence, they'll see it as emotional dead weight. And trust me, they're not here to carry it. For a Sigma, insecurity isn't just a personal issue, it's a relationship killer. They thrive on confidence, both theirs and yours. The moment you start doubting them, or worse, doubting yourself, they'll quietly slip away. They're not interested in playing emotional babysitter or convincing you of your worth. If you can't stand firmly in who you are, they'll move on to someone who can. Insecure behavior, like fishing for compliments or needing constant reassurance, is a major red flag for them. They don't have time to stroke egos or manage someone else's emotional roller coaster. A Sigma female's mindset is simple. If you don't believe in yourself, why should she? And before you know it, she's out the door. No drama, no scene, just gone. The funniest part? While you're sitting there wondering if she's upset, she's already 2 steps ahead, sipping coffee in peace and probably enjoying a quiet day without having to reassure anyone. So if you're looking for constant validation, Do yourself a favor and find it before approaching a Sigma female, because once she senses that insecurity, it's game over. Number 6. Outgrowing relationship is routine, not tragedy. For Sigma females, outgrowing relationships is just part of life. It's not something they dwell on or mourn. It's simply a routine part of their personal evolution. They are constantly growing, learning, and leveling up in all aspects of life. So if you're not keeping pace, you'll be left behind, and trust me, they won't lose sleep over it. Personal growth is sacred to them. They see life as a journey of self-improvement, and that means people who were once a good fit might not always remain so. Relationships, whether friendships, romantic, or even family ties, aren't safe from this process. Sigmas don't hold on to connections out of sentiment or obligation. If you're no longer aligned with their upgraded mindset, they'll move on without a second thought. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about progress. Sigmas view staying in stagnant relationships as a betrayal of their own potential. If someone is content with the status quo while the Sigma is striving for more, that relationship becomes a weight that holds them back. And a Sigma female, she refuses to be held back by anyone, no matter who they are. What's more, they don't see outgrowing a relationship as a tragedy. It's not this heartbreaking event that requires closure or long explanations. It's just life. People evolve, and so do the dynamics between them. Sigmas accept this reality and embrace it. So if you ever feel like you've been suddenly left behind by a Sigma female, it's probably because she's grown in ways you haven't. And for her, that's just the natural course of things. Nothing personal, just progress. Number 7. Your hidden agenda is transparent to them. Sigma females have a sixth sense for hidden agendas. You might think you're slick, playing some low-key manipulation game, but trust me, they see right through it. Sigmas are incredibly intuitive and can pick up on even the most subtle forms of deceit. The moment they detect any sign of manipulation, they're out. No second chances, no drawn-out confrontations, just gone. These women don't waste time with people who think they can outsmart or manipulate them. They value honesty and directness above all else, and they can't stand anyone trying to undermine their intelligence. The thing is, Sigmas often let people think they're playing their little games just to observe how far they'll go. But the second it crosses into disrespect or trickery, the Sigma will vanish from your life faster than you can blink. What makes it even more interesting is that they don't need any dramatic exit. No yelling, no confrontation, just a clean, quiet break. They don't see the point in engaging with someone who doesn't respect their intelligence or their boundaries. And while you're busy patting yourself on the back, thinking you've pulled a fast one, they've already moved on without a word. It's simple. They refuse to entertain anyone with ulterior motives. So, if you're coming at them with anything less than pure intentions, save yourself the trouble. Because a Sigma female will pick up on your agenda quicker than you think, and once she does, you won't get the chance to stick around and explain. Number 8. Their inner circle is sacred and ruthlessly protected. A Sigma. Female's inner circle is like a fortress, sacred, exclusive, and fiercely protected. Not just anyone gets in, and once you're in, it's a privilege, not a right. But here's the catch. If you ever jeopardize that trust or peace, you're out, and there's almost never a second chance. Once you've been removed, consider the door permanently closed. Sigmas are incredibly selective about who they allow close to them. Their circle isn't crowded, and that's intentional. They value quality over quantity, surrounding themselves only with people who genuinely add value to their lives. Loyalty, mutual respect, and trust are the cornerstones of their inner relationships. So if you betray that in any way, whether through dishonesty, selfishness, or simply no longer being aligned with their energy, you'll find yourself cut off without much warning or explanation. To a Sigma female, protecting her inner circle is about more than just avoiding drama. It's about preserving her peace and focus. They know that energy is contagious, and one wrong person can disrupt their entire vibe. If you go from being someone who strengthens their circle to someone who weakens it, they'll ruthlessly remove you, no questions asked. And it's not out of cruelty, it's out of necessity. They can't afford to have anyone who drains their energy or undermines their goals. Once you're out, don't expect a comeback story. Sigma females rarely give second chances, especially when it comes to their inner circle. They trust their instincts, and once you've been identified as a threat to their peace, they'll keep you at a distance for good. So if you've ever been in a Sigma's close circle and suddenly find yourself on the outside, it's not a coincidence. It's a calculated move to protect what matters most to them. Number 9. Your lack of self-respect reflects poorly on them. Sigma females hold themselves to incredibly high standards, and self-respect is a non-negotiable part of that. They live by a code of integrity and expect the same from those around them. If they notice someone continuously compromising their own values or settling for less than they deserve, it sends up red flags. They don't have the patience or tolerance to be around someone who lacks self-respect, and they won't hesitate to cut ties when they see it. To a Sigma, self-respect isn't just about how you carry yourself. It's about your entire approach to life. It's about standing by your principles, maintaining your boundaries, and not letting others walk all over you. When they see someone constantly lowering their standards or allowing themselves to be disrespected, it reflects poorly not only on that person, but also on the people they associate with. Sigmas refuse to be linked to anyone who doesn't value themselves because it ultimately undermines the respect they have for themselves. It's not about arrogance or thinking they're better than others. It's about self-preservation. A lack of self-respect in someone else often leads to toxic behaviors or situations, and Sigma females aren't interested in being dragged into that kind of energy. They know their worth and demand the same level of self-respect from the people they let into their lives. If you're not living up to that, they'll quietly distance themselves and move on. They also understand that allowing someone with low self-respect to stay in their life can drag them down too. It's a slippery slope, and Sigmas aren't about to compromise their values or their peace of mind for anyone. So, if they cut you off, it's not because they don't care, it's because they care too much about maintaining their own standards and well-being. Number 10. They don't care about closure. They care about freedom. Sigma females aren't here for closure, and they certainly aren't here to cater to anyone's need for emotional resolution. If they've made the decision to cut you off, it's because they've already moved on mentally and emotionally. In their world, drawn-out explanations or dramatic goodbyes are unnecessary. They value their freedom and peace of mind far more than they do wrapping things up in a neat little bow for someone else's comfort. When a Sigma decides to walk away, they've already calculated the move. They don't need to sit you down and explain every little reason why. That's not their style. Closure to them often feels like a waste of time. A conversation that only serves to keep them tethered to something they've already outgrown. Their focus is on moving forward, not rehashing the past. Here's the truth. A Sigma female prioritizes her freedom above all else. She won't stay in or mentally. If cutting ties brings her more peace and clarity, she'll do it without hesitation, and she won't look back. For her, freedom means the ability to walk away without the weight of unresolved emotions dragging her down. Sigma females aren't heartless. They simply understand that closure is often more for the person being left behind than for themselves. They don't need validation or finality. Once they've decided that a relationship no longer serves their growth or happiness, it's over in their mind. They won't entertain the back and forth or the need to explain themselves. So, if you're waiting for a long conversation or a moment of closure with a Sigma female, you'll likely be waiting a long time. For her, the act of walking away is the closure. She's already chosen peace and freedom over the drama, and that, to her, is all the resolution she needs. In the end, dealing with a Sigma female is about understanding one simple truth. She values her peace, growth, and freedom above all else. When she cuts you off, it's never impulsive or petty. It's a calculated move to protect her energy and maintain the high standards she holds herself to. She doesn't have time for insecurity, manipulation, or relationships that stifle her evolution. And closure? That's a luxury she doesn't feel obligated to give. Being in her circle means constantly matching her drive and respecting her boundaries. Fall short, and she'll walk away without looking back. It's not heartlessness, it's self-preservation. Sigma females aren't here for the drama or the emotional baggage. They're here to evolve, and if you can't keep up, they'll leave you behind without a second thought. The harsh truth is, their loyalty lies first and foremost with themselves, and that's what makes them unstoppable. If you found value in this video and want to stay ahead with more powerful insights, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join our community of thinkers, truth seekers, and those who refuse to settle for the ordinary. Hit that subscribe button and step into a world of exceptional content that will challenge, inspire, and elevate your mind. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.